37,000 feet, Los Angeles to Boston flight. The businessman clutched his chest, gasped, collapsed to the floor. The flight attendant shouted, "Is there a doctor?" From the back rows came a trembling voice. I'm a doctor." Everyone turned, 80 years old, hands shaking, struggling to walk. But when his hands touched the patient, the surgeon from 30 years ago returned. United Airlines Flight 2847, Los Angeles to Boston direct. Thursday morning, 10:15 a.m. The Boeing 737-800 was at full capacity. 189 passengers, business travelers, vacationers, families. A routine transcontinental flight. In seat 32F sat Dr. William Thornton, 80 years old, retired cardiac surgeon, heading to his grandson's graduation in Boston. His wife, Margaret, beside him, holding his hand. William's hands trembled. Mild Parkinson's. Had it for 10 years. Why, he'd ended his 30-year career. These hands had once held hearts, restarted them, saved lives. Now they struggled to hold a coffee cup. The plane was at 37,000 feet over Colorado. Calm flight until the man in 14B, Daniel Hayes, 54, software company, suddenly clutched his chest. "Ah!" he groaned. His face went white, sweating profusely. His wife, Sarah, panicked. "Daniel! Daniel, what's wrong?" Daniel couldn't answer. Clutching his chest, trying to breathe, then he seized and fell from his seat into the aisle. "Help!" Sarah screamed. Flight attendant Jennifer rushed over. 15 years experience, she knew immediately. "Medical emergency," she called to her colleagues. Then to the cabin, "Is there a doctor? Please, is there a doctor?" A few seconds of silence. Then a woman, a few rows ahead, stood. "I'm a nurse." Good, but not enough. Daniel's condition was critical. Jennifer called again. "Doctor, he's having a heart attack." From seat 32F came a trembling voice. I'm a doctor." Everyone turned. William Thornton was trying to stand. Margaret grabbed his arm. "William, look at your hands. You can't." William looked at his wife. In her eyes were all the memories of 50 years of marriage. "One more time," he said. "Just once more." Gripping his cane, he stood. Slow, trembling steps down the aisle. People watched skeptically. How could this old, shaking man be a doctor? Jennifer hesitated. "Sir, are you sure?" "Maybe someone else." William pulled out his wallet, showed his old Massachusetts General Hospital ID. "Dr. William Thornton, cardiothoracic surgeon, 30 years. Now, please step aside." Daniel lay on the floor, face blue, not breathing. William knelt. His hands were trembling, but when he checked Daniel's pulse, the hands stopped. For the first time in 30 years, the hands completely stopped. No pulse. Cardiac arrest. "We need CPR now." His voice had changed. No longer the trembling old man, but the commanding surgeon. "You," he turned to the nurse. "Chest compressions. 30-2 protocol. You to Jennifer. Get the AED now. You to another passenger. Go to the cockpit. Tell the captain. Medical emergency. Nearest airport." Everyone sprang into action. William opened Daniel's mouth, checked the airway. "Tongue's blocking. Yeah. Nurse, hold his head." "Yes, like that." The AED arrived. William placed the electrodes. The machine spoke. "Shock advised. Everyone back." William pressed the button. Daniel's body jumped. Still no pulse. "Continue." William started chest compressions. 80 years old, with arthritic hands, but not stopping, not slowing. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Passengers watched silently, some praying, Sarah crying. "Shock again." William was sweating. His hands hurt. But he didn't stop. Shock compressions. Shock compressions. After 8 minutes, beep, beep, beep. "We have a pulse," the nurse shouted. Daniel coughed, opened his eyes. William leaned back, breathing hard. His hands started trembling again. "Good work," he told the nurse. "Continue. We need oxygen." Jennifer brought the oxygen mask. William checked Daniel. "Mr. Hayes, can you hear me?" Daniel nodded. "You had a heart attack. Your heart stopped, but you're back. You need a hospital." The captain announced, "Due to medical emergency, we're diverting to Denver." 20 minutes. William tried to stand, but his legs wouldn't hold. Jennifer helped. "Doctor, are you okay?" William smiled. "I'm old, but alive." Margaret rushed over. "William! My God, what happened to your hands?" William looked at his hands, bruised from compressions, joints swollen, but he was smiling. "They worked," he said. "After 30 years, they still work." 20 minutes later, Denver approached. Daniel was stable, but still at risk. William stayed with him, monitoring vitals. "Dr. Thornton," Daniel spoke weakly, How old are you?" 80, said William, "and I haven't operated in 10 years. "Why?" William raised his trembling hands. "Parkinson's, early stage, but bad enough for a surgeon." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "But today was different," said William. "Sometimes the body understands what the soul needs." The plane descended. Ambulances waited on the tarmac. Paramedics boarded. They put Daniel on a stretcher. "Who intervened?" asked the chief medic. Jennifer pointed to William. "Dr. Thornton, 8 minutes, CPR, saved his life." The chief looked at William, saw his age, trembling hands, then the bruised hands. "Doctor, you come too. We need to check those hands." "No need," said William. "Just—" He suddenly stumbled. Margaret caught him. "William!" "I'm fine. Just tired." But the chief insisted. "Come, doctor, protocol." Denver Presbyterian Hospital. William was being examined in the ER, EKG normal. Blood pressure slightly high, but within normal limits. The young doctor, Dr. Ashley Chen, examined his hands. "Dr. Thornton, your hands have sustained serious trauma. 8 minutes of chest compressions at 80 years old." "I know," said William. "I went to medical school, too." Ashley smiled. "Sorry, I saw your file. Chief of Cardiac Surgery at Massachusetts General, 30 years, over 4,000 operations." 4,237, said William. "I remember them all." "Why did you quit?" William raised his hands. Slight tremor. Parkinson's, diagnosed 10 years ago. Death sentence for a surgeon. Ashley bandaged his hands. "But you saved a life today." "My last operation," said William, "and without an operating room." The door opened. Sarah Hayes entered, eyes red from crying. "Dr. Thornton!" "I found you. Daniel, my husband, he's awake. He wants to talk to you." Cardiac ICU. Daniel was half sitting in bed, electrodes on his chest, IV in his arm. When William entered, he tried to smile. "Doctor, you saved my life." William sat in the chair. "You were lucky. Right place, right time." "No." Daniel shook his head. The nurse told me you haven't operated in 10 years. Parkinson's." "Yes." "But your hands, the nurse said when you did CPR, your hands didn't shake at all." William looked at his hands, now trembling again. "I don't know," he said honestly. "For 30 years, I held countless hearts. Maybe muscle memory, maybe adrenaline, maybe—" "A miracle," Daniel finished. William smiled. "I'm a scientist, Mr. Hayes. I don't believe in miracles." "I didn't either," said Daniel, "until today." "Doctor, how can I thank you?" William stood. "By living well, loving your family." He walked to the door. Daniel called out, "Doctor, you can still operate. You proved it today." William turned. "No, Mr. Hayes. Today was a farewell gift, the last operation of my 30-year career, and my operating room was an airplane aisle. Maybe that's better." 2 days later, Boston. William and Margaret had finally reached Boston. Their grandson's graduation was tomorrow. At dinner, the whole family gathered. William's son, Michael, also a doctor, hugged his father. "Dad, I saw it on the news. Retired surgeon saves life on plane hood. You're a hero." William shook his head. "Not a hero, just the only doctor there." His granddaughter, Emily, newly graduated, starting medical school, sat beside her grandfather. "Grandpa, how did you do it with Parkinson's? How did your hands not shake?" William looked at his granddaughter's young, eager face. "I don't know, Emily, but let this teach you something. Medicine isn't just science. Sometimes, when it's needed most, the body does the impossible. Maybe love, maybe duty, maybe just muscle memory. But in that moment, I was the surgeon from 30 years ago." Emily asked, "Are you thinking about operating again?" William smiled. "No, sweetheart. Every story has an ending. Mine ended on that plane, and it was a good ending." 1 month later, William sat at home reading a medical journal. The phone rang. "Dr. Thornton, this is Daniel Hayes." "Mr. Hayes, how are you?" "Great. Had triple bypass. The surgeon in Denver was your student, Dr. Robert Kim." William remembered. "Bobby." "Yes, talented surgeon. He told me something, said, without Dr. Thornton, I wouldn't be a surgeon either." William's eyes filled with the tears. Daniel continued, "Doctor, I have a proposal. My company partnered with a medical tech firm. We're developing anti-tremor surgical gloves for Parkinson's patients. We have a prototype. Would you test it?" William was surprised. I don't operate anymore." "I know, but maybe as a consultant, training young surgeons. Even if your hands shake, your knowledge is invaluable." William thought. "Send them. I'll look." 6 months later, Massachusetts General Hospital operating room observation deck. 30 young surgical residents gathered behind the glass, inside a young surgeon, performing open-heart surgery. Beside him, William Thornton, wearing the newly developed anti-tremor gloves. The technology reduces tremor by 90%. William isn't touching the surgery, just guiding. Careful. Aortic root is delicate. Yes, there. Perfect suture. Surgery successful. The young surgeon thanks him. "Dr. Thornton, because of you." "No," William corrects. "Your hands. I just showed the way." Leaving the OR, Margaret waits in the hallway. "How did it go?" "Good," William smiles. "Turns out you can teach even with trembling hands." Margaret takes his arm. "Maybe it's not the hands that teach, but the heart." Walking down the hospital corridor, a young doctor runs up. "Dr. Thornton, cardiac arrest in the ER. They want your consultation." William stops, looks at his hands, still trembling, but it doesn't matter anymore. "Coming?" he says. "Because a surgeon can retire. Hands can tremble, but knowledge, experience, and the desire to help never retire." 1 year later, Time, magazine cover, "The Hands That Still Heal." Subtitle, 80-year-old retired surgeon saves life on plane, now training new generation. William Thornton is now consultant at Massachusetts General and visiting professor at Harvard Medical. His last lecture in the amphitheater. 300 students listening. "I'll tell you something," he says. Raises his hands, trembling. These hands performed 4,237 operations, held thousands of hearts. Now they shake. But he pauses. On that plane, when that man's heart stopped, the hands forgot to tremble. Why? I don't know. Maybe muscle memory, maybe adrenaline, or maybe, he looks at the students, maybe real healing isn't in the hands, but in the heart. Technique can be learned, hands can be trained, but compassion, courage, risking yourself for another, these are in the heart. A student asks, "How do you cope with Parkinson's?" William smiles. "Daily struggle, but the gloves Daniel Hayes developed help, and I don't operate anymore. I teach you maybe the real legacy isn't the operations you perform, but the surgeons you train." Class ends. Students give standing ovation. William slowly descends, gripping his cane. Margaret waits at the door. "Shall we go home?" "1 minute," says William. His phone rings. "United Airlines calling?" "Dr. Thornton, I'm the pilot training director. We're giving medical emergency training to all flight crews. Would you be a consultant?" William looks at Margaret. She smiles. "I accept," says William, "because saving lives is learned once, but teaching lasts forever." William Thornton died at 85, peacefully in his sleep. At his funeral were 2,000 people. Patients he saved, surgeons he trained, students he inspired. Daniel Hayes spoke. "Dr. Thornton gave me back my life, but more importantly, he taught me something. Real heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they come with trembling hands, but if there's courage in their hearts, they create miracles." His gravestone reads, Dr. William Thornton, 1943 to 2028. His hands trembled, but his heart never stopped. Saved 4,238 lives, the last one at 30,000 feet. And every year, on the anniversary of that flight, United Airlines Flight 2847 makes an announcement. "On this plane, years ago, an elderly doctor saved a life. His hands trembled, but his heart was strong. In memory of Dr. William Thornton." And passengers, for a moment, put down their phones, look at each other, and remember, heroes are everywhere, sometimes old, sometimes trembling, but always ready when needed.